Good afternoon, guys. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trading news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. With the looming shutdown on Monday, the conversations are moving around on the issue that is leading us to this shutdown that is happening. So before we talk about that, it is not good to judge South Africans how they are supposed to react on things. It is not good. So South Africans have a right to choose their way of reacting as long as they are not harming anyone. And when they see things that are happening in South Africa and they see that they think that is not happening in the right way or the way in which they would like to see it happen. So sometimes you hear journalists like demeaning South Africans, like gaslighting South Africans, are like, no, but that's not how things are happening on the ground. Maybe people are living on some areas that are not, whereby they are not, where they are not experiencing what other people are experiencing. So I would like you to hear this interview. I just felt like I got more insight on this. And then there are also things I don't like that were said in this interview, which are the very same things that are not helping the situation. They aggravate the situation that is already bad. But do hear from these two guys.
I want to get your sense just overall of what you've made of this entire conversation, the bilateral ties, and I suppose the conversation between the two biggest economic powerhouses in Africa.
I think that it's an important conversation to have. And I think that the president is really doing what he should be doing in terms of looking at the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is really then created to create interconnected supply chains and really garner more business between African countries. So there's no surprises in the president doing that. And as you've mentioned, these are the two biggest economies on the continent. Yeah. So it is important.
With it being this important, though, does this conversation around visas, passports, etc., does that change ties in any way? Does it actually change anything from economic prospects, or is this a more of a feel-good sentiment that makes the two countries feel as though they are getting closer, even if it isn't really anything that changes on the ground?
It does, and the reason why it does, Arabella, is because for trade to happen, people need to travel.
Yeah,
people need to travel in between. There's what we call outward missions, inward missions. So providing and creating ease of access between the countries from a travel perspective, your visas, your passports, is important. For me, it's not a surprise that these are conversations that are taking place. We've seen it happening with East Africa, and now it's happening with Nigeria.
The next part of their conversation is the part that will possibly upset you, because it has the element of upsetting, because they don't go to the core reasons why South Africans are feeling the way they are feeling. You know, I just think that if you are a South African and you have been given a platform to talk about these issues, talk the truth. Make sure that everyone gets clarity of why South Africans are like this. It's not like we just scared for nothing, or maybe we're scared for competition, we're scared. No. We just want people to understand that we want them to be in South Africa and behave. And when you look at it, South Africans travel too. Forget this old story that South Africans don't travel. That thing, please take that thing and discard it and throw it somewhere else. South Africans travel. So now, when you get to a platform and we have to talk about issues, just try and be on the truth side. Because now, how many South Africans, it goes down to that question, how many South Africans go to these African countries and get there and they commit the crimes that we see happening in South Africa? Just check the news. Just check the news. If you want to know, just check the news. You're mining, you're kidnapping, your drugs, please, it's just a lot. So don't gaslight South Africans. That's the part that makes this whole thing a mess. Don't gaslight South Africans that we just like fear for nothing because we don't want things changing, whatever. Please. Before I get too upset on this part, do hear from these guys. This is the last part that is a bit upsetting, but anyway, just listen to them.
I just think it scares South Africans a little bit because of
they want to. But that's exactly it. That's the next point you reach then, is that South Africans are known to have a particular perception, perhaps, of anybody other than themselves in some situations.
See, that part right there, they always miss a moment to speak the truth. They always miss it. Whew. And it's upsetting. It is upsetting. Yo, guys, anyway, let us proceed.
Situations and scenarios. So do many other people, whether it be the French, the Germans, etc., right? This happens globally.
The Americans.
Exactly. It's not a new phenomenon. But what happens in this case is that it blockades us from willingly then getting into enterprise, getting into business, growing economies, and building trade relations which are sustainable. Is this the right way to go about it? Because obviously some people will say, wait, hold on. These are still people who need to still go through the right security checks in order for all of this to happen.
But these are the right security checks in order for this to happen. Your visa processes, your passports being in place, they are. The reality is, let's not get surprised as South Africans as we see more and more of these things take place. And because of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, if we want to solidify ourselves as a leading trade partner in Africa, this is going to continue happening. And it's necessary.
Has the African Free Trade Area Agreement really taken hold?
Guys, that's all that I brought to you. Ezos manga shit. That's what I brought to you with this video. Whatever your thoughts are, as usual, kindly use the comment section for that. Whether you want to agree with the guy that was speaking or the entire interview, kindly do so. You want to disagree with him, kindly do so as well. Or if you feel like the conversations, they don't go direct to the issues that South Africans are concerned about, also use the comment section. So we do understand that we cannot be frozen in time, but what I'm saying is we need things done properly. Because at the end of the day, we might find ourselves sitting with a problem that we did not anticipate, because we don't deal with the core issues, so that we bring in new issues, so that those new issues will run smoothly on a smooth surface. And with that said, thank you for watching my videos. This is South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here.